Hey folks. So you've got your note chart finished up. You've reviewed all of your sources, you've found them, you've read them, you've taken notes, you've got your citation information, you've written your summaries, your objective summaries of each source, and you've given a brief statement of why this is credible, or at least what perspective this is representing. And you are ready to move on with your research project. Our next step is going to be creating an annotated works cited. So this is like the formal page that will go at the end of our paper that says, here's the documentation. Here are my sources that led me to write this paper, the sources that I'm synthesizing into my project. So what you'll do is you're going to create a new Google Doc, and I've got one built right here already for us. So make sure that you give it a title so you can find it later and get it properly attached to Google Classroom when you need to. Just call it your annotated works cited. Maybe you'll put your last name in there too, Restad. And then you're going to make sure everything is in Mla format. So I've got Times New Roman font. It is 12 point, and I'm making sure everything is double spaced. And at the top of my paper, I'm going to write works cited. And that's it. No more, no less. I don't need to put in 1,000 enter spaces right afterwards. Just works cited one time and press enter. Then I'm going to go back to left align. And the next part is just going to be a bunch of copying and pasting, where I'm going to take this information that I already have compiled from my note chart, like my full citation, and I'll put that in here. And then I'm going to grab my statement of summary and credibility. I can go ahead and leave those, headings in there too. That's not going to hurt anything. And I'm going to paste these in here too. And I'm going to paste these right after my source here. And I might even kind of back these things up to make sure that they're all kind of crunched together. You see how I have that just one big block of text? That'll make sense here in a little bit. So that's my one source. Okay, on to my next one. Press enter. Oh, and let's make sure, well, I'll go back and double space everything once I get it all in here. So your formatting might get a little funky as you're copying and pasting these things. But we're just going to kind of work through that, and then we'll go back through and make sure everything's formatted the way we need. Okay, there's source 2. Grab our summaries and our credibilities. And I'm going to paste that formatting here. Back this stuff up. Just like that. All right, source 2. I'll do one more, and then I'll show you what we're doing next. This guy. Next source. Oops, I put an extra space there. I'll come back and fix that later. Oh, not that one, this one. Here's my source. Here's my summary and my credibility. Notice how I did that right click and paste without formatting? So I just did a little paste without formatting by right clicking. That just gets rid of any bolding or italics or like other fonts that I have, and it just matches it to whatever I'm pasting it against. So I could do, well, let's go ahead and do one more. We're here. And source 4. Paste that guy in here. Grab my summary and my credibility. And again, I'm just bumping everything right up against each other. So I have kind of 4 walls of text, really, for each one of my sources. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of my sources and then make sure I have them all in Times New Roman. Pull up my font. And I'm going to make sure everything is double spaced as well. Okay, cool. Now we've got some good room to breathe. But one thing that's kind of hard to see right now is where one source ends and the next one begins. That's a little bit tricky. So in works cited pages, we're going to do what's called a hanging indent, which basically means the first line of each citation is not going to be indented, but everything else is. And there's a really easy way to do this. So I'm going to highlight everything. So I clicked at the beginning, I held down the shift button and I scrolled on down, and then I held the shift button and I clicked at the end. And I'm going to deal with, let's see if I can zoom in anymore. So you guys can see as I do this. I'm going to work with this little slider up here. If you don't see this ruler, go to View, Show Ruler. and that'll bring up this guy up at the top here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this triangle and move him over to 1/2 inch, so 0.5. Oops, see how that moves everything over. And I'm going to grab this top bar, move it back to 0. There we go. Now it's really clear, if I zoom back out, where, okay, this is all one source. And this is all one source. And this is all one source. So really, really simple to see the difference. And I'm going to make sure that I don't have any extra spaces in between my sources. I don't need any. Ooh, and I'm going to fix anything like this. So see how this source is going, and then it thinks that this is the beginning of a new source. I don't want that. So I'm just going to press backspace and get everything nice and aligned. Okay. Oops. Looks like I need to adjust ahead. So see, as I was pasting this in here, I noticed that this wasn't going all the way to the end of my page. To fix that, I can just highlight everything that is not fitting to the end of the page, and I'm going to adjust this right margin, pull him all the way over. There we go. And now I need to get everything in alphabetical order. And this is important because as someone is reading my paper and they see this name, Delasio, they can flip to the end, look at my works cited page, and find that person's name in alphabetical order in the list of your sources. I don't want to have to look through every source to find the source that I'm looking for. No, it should be organized alphabetically. So let's get these together. So I'm going to cut Delasio, put him here, and then, okay, Gunn, and then Smith. That works. And then I got this one. Okay, so G needs to go before Smith. So notice that these ones, they don't have an author. There was just an article title. That's okay. I'm just going to organize them by the first letter of their article title, which is okay. So gun violence comes after gun control. So put that in here. Make sure I don't have any extra spaces. And that's it. Maybe take one more check. Make sure we're all double spaced. Yep, there's no extra spaces. Times New Roman 12-point font. This looks good. And that's all you got to do. So the works cited formatting part is easy. The hard part is gathering all that information into your note chart. So that's where the real work comes in. So this hopefully is a snap for you. All right. Good luck, folks. You can do this.